A.W. Tozer is. He's an author from, I don't even know how long ago. A.W. Tozer said that the most important thing a Christian can do is think rightly about God. And I agree 100% with that. I think the second most important thing a Christian can do is think rightly about themselves, of who God made them to be. Because we know who we are because we know who our God is. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. Judges 5. Does anybody know who Deborah is? Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of reading, and I'm just going to kind of just paraphrase a little bit about the story if you don't know what it is. But Deborah was a judge, and she was the only judge, female judge, in the whole Bible, actually. And what I love about Deborah the most is because learning about culture in judges and knowing that she was a woman judge speaks a lot for her. Because females weren't like they are today. They were submissive and they didn't talk when two men were talking. They were the lesser of the mankind. They were completely different. So to say, because a judge was appointed by the people, you know what I mean? They were appointed by people, so that means that she had a lot of favor in her culture. And so in Judges 4:9, Barak, she was also a leader of the army. They were in a time where the land, the people was turning their back from God, and they were sinning, and then they were in a war. And Barak asked Deborah to go with him. And then in Judges 4:9, she said, I will go with you, but I will tell you that you will not deliver the army into victory, but they will be delivered by a hand of a woman. Now, I can only imagine how he felt knowing that culture and what was going around being said. This woman thinks that she's going to lead our army. I can only imagine all the things that were going to. They probably made fun of her. They probably mocked her. Well, in 5, this is the song of Deborah. This is they said Deborah judged by a tree. And Deborah went by the tree and she started to worship. And she started to praise. And I'm going to go to Judges 5:7. And 5:7 says, villagers in Israel would not fight. They held back until I, Deborah, arose. Until I arose, the mother in Israel. Now, that's what I'm going to talk about tonight today. Because that blows my mind. Because she did not let her culture, she did not let the rumors, she did not let anything affect the rising up that God had planned for. And she was actually the one who led them into victory. There's 40 years of peace in that land. She prophesied what she was going to do. That's what I'm going to talk, because I feel like a lot of today, we base who we are and what we do off of our culture, off of our society, and we let it defeat us a lot of times. You know what I mean? We let it defeat us, but God says, no, I'm going to raise you up. I'm going to raise you up no matter what your culture says, no matter what your society says. He says, I'm going to raise you up. Because if I learn anything from this story, I learned that God doesn't see you like other people see you. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He doesn't say, they would say, you see somebody on drugs out on the street, they say, there's that drug head. But God said, no, that's my child. He doesn't say, there's that drug head. He says, there's my child. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of things going on today. And Satan is moving, he's roaring. But I'm telling you, God is roaring and moving too. Amen. That if there's anything that I've learned, is that when Satan is moving, God is doing something greater. So let's not focus on what is going on. Let's focus, because I feel like once we get to that place where nothing else matters and we begin to worship God, and we get in that secret place that God talks about the whole time, He will begin to raise you up and become bigger and greater than you will ever imagine. I want to tell you, it's still happening. So many times I hear people say, this is happening, and it's so depressing. Gas prices are so high, and the economy is about to collapse. I hear it all, but guess what? God is still moving. It says that in Joel. It says that in the last days, my sons and my daughters will prophesy, and the old men will see visions. God is still moving. Mom, stand up. I want to tell you, her mom died. She was an orphan. And a lot in her testimony, she says that the world, her culture said, you're an orphan. They put her out, she was an outcast. But I tell you, when God grips your life and he begins to work and he begins to transform you, the world and how they say you're an orphan, that label doesn't matter. He says you're not an orphan anymore because you're a daughter. He said, I don't leave anybody as orphans. He says that now you are my daughter. Amen. God is still moving. God is still raising people up. And I would just encourage everybody. I had a lot more to say than that. So it always goes. I was going to give more example like Moses. Moses ran away because he killed the guy for beating. He ran away and God appeared to him and said to free his people. And if I believe right, Moses said that he couldn't because he can't speak very well. Because he had a speaker impediment. But God did not care. He still rose Moses up, and Moses still led through God those people out of torment. David, those people, they were under Goliath, and they were fighting Goliath, and everybody was so scared. David was a kid. David was a boy. And David listened, and God still rose David up, and he defeated Goliath. Elijah was a boy. They said he was probably only 16, 17 years old. Did you know that? 16, 17 years old. And Jezebel was roaming, and she was doing evil and sinning, and God rose Elijah up to defeat their God. To defeat their God, a 16-year-old boy, you know what I mean? And Nehemiah is probably one of my favorite stories. Nehemiah, their city was in ruins, and he was a businessman, and God raised him up, and he began to pray, and he began to fast, and he began to weep for his land, and God rose him up, and he took back that land.
Yes, he did.
Everybody probably doubted him in that time too. They're like, oh, it's too bad. The city is in two ruins. And he said, no, he got on his knees and he began to pray. He began to fast. And God said, I'm going to give you back that land.
Yes, he did. Amen.
So, I guess in closing, I'm just going to say that we need to, huh?
I want to budge. Keep going.
Keep going? I don't like taking a lot of time. But what I want to say is that I feel like we as Christians, because I see a lot of Christians missing it. You know what I mean? A lot of Christians missing it. See, I think that it's not. I think that we are called. We're coming to church to assemble, but it's more than that, people. It's more than just going to church on Sunday morning or Thursday night or Wednesday night. It's so much bigger than that. So I believe that if we just begin to fast and we begin to pray, God will start raising people up. Because Satan ain't going to stop what he's doing. Satan ain't going to stop what he's doing. He's going to keep doing it. So we need to stop playing what we're doing. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. And you need to pray, you need to fast, and you need to listen. You need to listen to God because he's going to raise you up. He's going to raise you up to be something bigger. And I believe that with all my heart. Everybody that's in this church, he's going to raise you up to be something. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you, but he's going to raise you. He's going to raise you up. He's going to raise prophets and teachers and preachers. He's going to raise you up. You're not made to just sit in a pew. You're made to be a servant. You're made to be a disciple. Go out and make fishers of men. Let God raise you up. Listen to him and seek him.